Welcome to this pause for practice. I am pulling myself out of the flow of my day in this absolutely stunning whale fjord is what it's called. I'm not sure how to say that in Icelandic, but that is where I am in West Iceland. And I'm just beyond comprehension grateful. I have chills every time I look out on this landscape. And I'm really grateful to be able to drop in here together. And as is the case, whatever we're doing in the flow of our days or nights, to pull ourselves aside to engage in conscious practice so that we can bring ourselves into greater presence um, and to be more attentive to the experiences that we're having within ourselves and around ourselves. And in the backdrop of being in quiet and solitude in this kind of space, the state of my mind and my nervous system, it's all very evident. And it's been very interesting. I highly encourage taking these kinds of retreats. I think retreats in groups, doing deep group work and being in nature, with that solitude and silence alongside others is one of the most powerful practices for me, which I do regularly. And we have a retreat coming up in last few days of April, first few days of May in a setting in Portugal that is equally as alive and vibrant with life, with the intelligence of life, and with the quality of ecological sort of unadulterated, unhumanized. Of course, everything has been touched, but relatively so, can inspire that awe and that wonder that, in contrast to what I know in my own personal life, and certainly on the collective right now, can be so important for me to resource and sustain myself in the face of what is so heartbreaking and heart-wrenching and very difficult to know how to respond to in ways that are effective and impactful. And so this quality of time is really supportive and helpful. And so I hope that each of us can find ways to do that that serve our bodies, our minds, our souls, our spirits, and therefore enable us to better serve our families and communities. So in this pause, I've pulled myself out. I invite you to pull yourself out, and we're going to take about 15 minutes. I'm going to invite some somewhat vigorous self movement, breath, and self-touch. This is an energetic cleansing for the physical, the energetic body, and it's a real activation of the capacity of our body to alchemize, to discharge energy, to move it literally through our systems, but also invigorating us at the same time. And I set up a chair here. You're going to want to have space to move around. And then I set up a chair so that after we do this, we can sit in stillness together for a few moments and engage in a visualization. So take a moment and just get your space. This is one that I will invite you to do standing. And if you can't do that right now, and that's not what would serve you, then maybe engage this when you can. Take your hands, clasp them together, and rub them together vigorously, and then let your fingers intertwine, interweave, and build some heat. And as you do, feel your feet on the ground, feel your crown extending towards the cosmos. Breathe into the back of your body. Breathe into your hips. Breathe into your roots. Let your breath be fuller in the rib cage, widening your body. One more inhale. And then hold that inhale, and then inhale one more time. And then exhale. And begin to slow the hands. And then as the hands come to rest, just feel that surface place where your hands touch and feel the energy between your hands, and close your eyes. And then just very gently, taking your time, let the hands open gently, slowly, a little bit, and then push them back together a little bit, and just notice what you feel. Breathing inhale as you open a little, exhale, push them gently back, but you're not pushing them back to touch, but just notice if you can feel the activation of the molecules of the space, which is not, in fact, unoccupied between your hands, right? There's energetic molecules, matter of a kind of energy matter, little pockets, electrons, neutrons, I don't know what they're called, some kinds of trons. But with that activation of the heat, there's a density there, and you can feel that. And just take a moment and then set an intention as you're just letting your hands gently pulse here with this energy you've created. Set an intention to just choose one thing that is an attitude, a feeling tone, something that you've been experiencing that you experience as a hindrance, as a weight, as a block. Maybe it's fear, maybe it's doubt, maybe it's concern, anxiety, panic, rage. And all of those things are useful. We're not trying to bypass them, but we're going to presence this in your system. And just with this moving of energy, you can think of it as a cleansing or a clearing, but you can also be thinking of it as a moving, as an invitation for that to begin to transform or change its expression so that it's no longer a hindrance, that it becomes a source of intimacy with life, of a source for a response to life that is generative and meaningful and beneficial. And then with the next inhale, just feel that tone. Let that quality, that attitude, as you have been experiencing it, just draw it into your energy field. Like, let yourself feel it, whatever that feels like in you. And as I do that, I just get this, because what I'm bringing forward brings that in me, just like, oh. So you're presencing that, and at the same time presencing this energy that is clearing, that is moving, that is like a salve, a balm to that. And then with the next inhale, just take your hands and just wash that over the top of your head, and then bring your hands down and begin to pat. Just taking like this, the kind of softer part of your palm in a cupping kind of motion, and just patting. You can do this slowly like this. You can do it even slower, whatever would feel good to you. You can do it fast and vigorously. So just let yourself do it whatever speed and whatever pressure would feel good to you. And then you can take it into the chest, and you can take the other hand and do the other side. So you're just going to go the front of the arm, the inner arm, just getting all around 360 degrees, both arms and shoulders, under the armpit as well. And then take both hands and pat them on the chest and shoulders, and take them up and rub, get your hands underneath that occipital ridge and that area where the cranium meets the spinal column. And just do some rubbing here. Instead of the patting on the head, we're going to just focus on this rubbing for now. If you want, you can do some gentle tapping like this, So see whatever, we'll do both at some point. So tapping, rubbing, forehead, on the face, maybe use a little bit more of the fingers on your face, get into the ears, maybe cup your palms over your ears and press a few times. And then coming down the chest, tapping into the belly, let the belly relax, tapping, packing really here. Into the back of your body, the sides of your body. Down, very good. Tailbone, your hips, get into your glutes, sides of the hips, front, get in the inner thighs, front of the thighs, sides of the thighs, kneecaps down the shins, calves, tops of the feet. You can lift your feet if you can balance and get the bottom of the feet. And the other. And then coming back up. And just opening up. Take an inhale and just notice what you notice. Notice what you notice. And again, bring yourself back to that feeling that you're working with, that attitude that you're working with, whatever that quality is. And just bring it up again. And let yourself be with it. Place it right here in your system. Maybe thoughts, maybe images, maybe scenes, maybe scenarios come to mind that are associated with as cause of this, and you can let that come for a moment and be present. Stimulating it, activating it, bringing it straight forward here and now. And then with it present, begin to now work with a brushing quality. So it's like you're like brushing what you've tapped up and brought to the surface, just moving it. And you can move it in any way. And you can move it all through your system, like wherever this attitude expresses in my face, in my speech, with your throat and your mouth, in the way that I hear, with your ears, in the way that I see with your eyes, in the way that my heart feels with your chest and in your heart, in the way that I touch the world, I reach out or I don't reach out for connection with your arms and your hands, in the way that I digest with your belly, the back of the body, the kidneys, the organs, the gallbladder, the liver, the intestines, the small intestines, the large intestines, with the way that I relate to my fecundity, my creativity, my sensuality, my sexuality, energy for life, for pleasure, for play, the way that I relate and move in the world, right? Where the places I step into, the places I'm not stepping into. I'm just feeling into that. And really, it's like you're moving, stirring. We've stirred it with the patting, and now we're moving it and we're inviting that attitude, that energy to literally begin to move in a different way, have a different impact, cease to be debilitating or hindering, but to be able to be a source of new movement, of new attitude, of new action, renewed action, whatever it is. And take a moment now when you feel clear with that, and just open up and notice what you notice, bringing that back into your frame of reference. But notice if you notice any shift in the way that it's coming now, the way you're experiencing it now. One more breath, deep inhale through the nose, inhale through into the low belly, the back of the body, the back of the tailbone. Focus this inhale all the way up, the back of the rib cage behind the heart, the back of the shoulder blades along the neck, and exhale. And now take your hands and starting at the feet, we're going to move away from the body now. This movement is kind of like, I think of it as like stirring the clouds or fluffing the clouds. It's like you're just taking now in that external energy field and moving from the back, from the bottom all the way up, front, sides, and back, and moving that energy under the arms, bringing flow, bringing freshness, bringing a lighterness. Again, not a bypassing, but how am I relating, to these feelings that being in my life, being in my relationships, being in the world brings into my system, moving it. And then take a moment, open it up. And then you can feel if you want to stand for this or sit for this. We're going to take just about 2 minutes in just breath, focusing the breath coming in through the nose, coming in clear channels of energy through both nostrils, and then pinging. It's like the breath is pinging right here at the third eye center, right at the frontal lobe, opening up. And as you exhale, you just let it relax. That energy that you're creating there, the space, the opening for new insight, for innovative ways of being in relationship with the attitudes and feelings that being in your life and being in the world right now brings up. And I'm going to sit for this just so I can really focus. When I'm sitting on the edge of my seat, my feet are nice and clearly placed on the floor. I've got a wide stance, so my body is open and my hands are up. You can place, if you want to draw your energy down at this point, you can place your hands down on your legs. If you want to kind of keep the energy moving upward, you can place the hands up. I'm going to take about 2 minutes in just this breathing through both nostrils. You can imagine if there's a color for you that really reflects that color, kind of a light quality color of illumination. You can imagine that coming through that clear pranic channel, both nostrils straight into your frontal lobe. If you're having any congestion right now that's making it difficult to breathe through your nose, you can have the mouth open and imagine the same thing coming through your mouth and then up through the channel of the sinuses to the frontal lobe. your mind drifts to other thoughts, past or future, present, but not right here, breathing. Don't condemn yourself, shame yourself, just bring your mind back, noticing the breath through both nostrils or through the mouth, up to this third eye center, to the frontal lobe. Now with the next few breaths, draw the breath as you breathe into the low, now switching, directing the breath into the hips. And as you breathe, feel the energy move up the central channel of the spine, all the way up now through the crown. 3 breath rounds in this way. So exhaling fully, inhale, draw the breath up, in, inflate from the pelvic floor, from the base of the tailbone, all the way up through the low belly, through the solar plexus, through the heart, through the upper chest, through the throat, through the central channel, all the way up through the skull, towards the cosmos. And 2 more breaths like this, breathing it all the way up, following that channel of energy on the in-breath. And as you exhale, release. Just let it, like a fountain, just flow over, like a feedback loop, coming back up. And with the next exhale, after you've completed that round, take your arms to the side of the body as you inhale. Let them float up above the head into Anjali Mudra, coming down to the third eye center. May this practice support us to be in a relationship with the feelings and the attitudes that bind us, that stifle us, that hinder us, to create movement, to create responses to the world that are innovative and that are beneficial to our circumstances, both personal and collective. Take a deep inhale. And just tracing down to your lips, your throat. Take a deep inhale. May this practice support us to be more aware, more conscious, more attentive to our inner dialogue, to the way we talk in our minds about ourselves, about the world, how these attitudes presence there. Not with shame, not with frustration with ourselves or judgment, but with that invitation to practice, to bring ourselves into practice when we notice these debilitating patterns of inner talk. And that we can bring fresh energy, we can engage ways to move the stagnation, to shift. Take a deep inhale. And exhale slowly down the throat, the sternum, to your heart center. Press your thumbs into your heart. Take a moment to just tune in and feel the beating of your own heart, your beautiful, courageous, loving heart. And just take a bow to yourself or taking this quality of time today and an appreciation for yourself, for meeting yourself wherever you are. If you are new to these practices, really honor yourself just for being here, making note of any ways that you feel feelings of frustration or inadequacy or anything like that, and just offer that care. And just know that it's the being here, it's the showing up. We all, no matter how long we've been engaging in practices like this, we all show up with varying capacities at different moments. And it's coming back to The Beginner's Mind, one of the first meditation books I read by Suzuki. Beginner's Mind. Even the great masters, it's every day coming as a humble beginner to our lives and to our practices and showing up. So thank you so much. I hope to see you soon. Would love to welcome you live. I love to be with people in real space and create all sorts of beautiful ways of dropping in deep and offering ourselves and one another love and care, and enhancing our capacities together to have breakthroughs, to have insights, to shift the things that perhaps we've been carrying around for lineages. It's clear with what's happening on the planet that there is lineage trauma playing out unconsciously, and it's in each of us to just be in our own relationship with what is ours so that we can presence more fully with what and how this is happening in the world to create change. So thank you, blessings. Hope to see you soon.